What's up, everybody? First things first, my name, L-U-I, right? Secondly, I do salute you on a daily. Thirdly, this picture, as you guys can see, was posted merely an hour ago by official Greene on his Instagram social media networks. It was also posted by his trainer, namely George Farah. Now, of course, this is only 20 weeks out of Mr. Olympia. It cannot be indicative of anything as of yet. It is too soon, although we see basically a tight midsection. But then again, this is called a side triceps, and he is not doing it properly yet. As you guys can see, you cannot see a triceps in an efficient way. With time, unfortunately, a lot of IFBB pros got it right. It is probably the most hated pose by the big guys because they cannot get it right. They cannot strengthen basically the elbow to showcase the triceps. Some exceptions though do exist. This is in off-season Dorian Yates. Well, not quite off-season, but like 6 weeks out. He was 279 pounds. As you guys can see, he's showcasing properly. Notice his triceps is immense, and also he has one of the best forearms in the history of bodybuilding. I'll come back to that a little bit later and why that happens. But overall, he can showcase both heads of the triceps in a most efficient way, even though he's nearly 280 pounds, right? Now, this is 2012, as you guys recall, the best shot by all measures of Greene to have a clear position, threatening position to the crown of Mr. Olympia, namely Phil Heath. And talking about Phil Heath, I salute him because he stated that he blocked me in his Instagram, but lately I noticed that he unblocked me because I was tagged there and I was able to comment. Well, thank you. Anyway, as I said, it was his best shot. He was the leanest we have seen, and here you can clearly see that the position, or the pose rather, he gets it rather good. We see both hands of the triceps. He can straighten the arm like it should be, and that's the way it go. Now he is going versus one of the best triceps ever in that of Phil Heath. And also notice that Phil Heath not only has one of the craziest tricep development, but if you know a thing or two about Phil Heath, he also rocks a solid forearm. I'll come back to that a little bit later. Let's go on though. Again, another pose, probably the same year. He was lean, talking about Greene, and he was doing it properly. And he came 1 point short, if I do recall, of touching actually the crown of Phil Heath. A big guy, as I said, he hates usually those kind of poses because they're too big to get it right. And Marcus Rule showcases what I'm talking about in a rather clear way. He hated this pose. He could not do it properly. It was too big. This was a side tricep, but it was all messy, all crooked, right? Now, Greene, when he is too big, this is off season. Of course, I'm not gonna dig him for that, but this is not done properly. You can see the lat come in, and you see, you know, the midsection is not tight, so it's not good when the guy is too big, right? It is a sensitive pose. One guy that hated this pose, admittedly, is Ronnie Coleman. His tricep development is outstanding. However, the pose, even when he was small in 1998, it was still not the most efficient pose he had. And with time, he got it all messed up. Where's 2003 when he was the biggest here? Look, 2003, bro, he was struggling to hold it. He was too big, and in my reckoning, most of the big guys, if they could cancel this pose, they would absolutely go for it because it is basically too much. They have to connect both hands behind the back and straighten the arm, which is a sight to be accomplished. Now, again, those are one of 3 best triceps in the business right now, in that of Rolly Winkler, again, Phil Heath in the center, and a smaller version of Greene here. Now, again, let me go back to Rolly Winkler. As you guys know, as I said, he has one of the best triceps. Admittedly, it is a toss-up between him and Phil Heath. And both have crazy forearms development. Now, since the beginning of this video, I am connecting the relationship between having a massive hugely developed triceps and hugely developed forearms. It is not a coincidence. Let me go on. A guy who gets it properly, even though he's big, he's usually 280, he was between 270 and, up to 280 in contest weight, if I'm not mistaken. The ex-Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler. He did it the proper way, showcasing his tricep, which is goodly developed, while showing a balanced and sizzled, diced midsection. I salute him for that. A guy who hates it, admittedly, he cannot even hide it. It is Branch Warren. I mean, needless to say, this picture speaks tons of volumes about him not doing it properly. He's next to Flex Lewis, though. Flex Lewis is a Mr. Olympia in the 212-pound category. Again, let me stress up, if you know Flex Lewis, now you do comprehend what I'm getting to. Flex Lewis rocks a solid triceps development paralleled with a hugely well-developed forearm. Is that right? Knock your head. Say LUI is right. Proper. Let's continue. Now, Phil Heath, for the unaware, before being a bodybuilder, before being number one in this bitch called bodybuilding, he was a properly well-set basketball player of a high level. Now, don't get me wrong, we're not talking NBA, because unfortunately, he does not have basically the physique for that. He's shorter than 6 foot, so there are limits. But then again, at his height, he was at a high level. He did it properly. And admire his forearm development and the tricep. You can even see the triceps from a front, right, which says volumes about his development. Let's go on. Now, when he was small, he was small. Now he's called the gift, right? But even when he was small, his triceps was still a sight to be seen, if you ask me. Rolly Winkler. Now you can see here, as I said, he has one of the craziest triceps in the business. But look at his forearm. Do you think it is a coincidence? No. If you go back in time, be my guest. I'm following this bodybuilding since merely a quarter of a century now. Each time you tell me triceps development huge, it follows automatically on a daily but a well-developed set of forearms. They go hand in hand, parallel. There is a correlation, a relationship. When your triceps suck a bit, your forearm most likely sucks. Phil Heath, again, triceps crazy. The forearm is a sight to be contemplated, if you ask me. He has a belly in his radiobrachialis, baby, please. Can you imagine that? Has a freaking peak in his radiobrachialis. Look at that. Again, you can see him here. I mean, look at the bellies. I mean, who has bellies in forearms? Phil does have that, right? Another giant killer from down under Australia, Mr. Lee Priest. If you guys are young, I do pardon you, I do excuse you, but you forgot about this guy. He was a giant killer, but his forearm development was absolutely stupendous. It was absolutely biblical. Needless to say that his tricep, look at the tricep sweep, was also a sight to be contemplated. Look, Tom Platz was admiring, bro. Is this a triceps or a horseshoe? Goes hand in hand. You need to comprehend, bro. Triceps big, forearm is usually big. That's what's up. The lion from Lebanon, Lebanese, baby, please, on a daily basis. Samir Banout, the very epitome, definition of horseshoe. You comprehend what I'm going to. Look at his triceps. Amazing. Crucifix pose, forearms all day, every day. I mean, daily. You need to comprehend here. There is a correlation. It's not a coincidence. Let's go on. There is something called the ulnar nerve. Ulnar nerve. One very important big nerve that you can literally see when you're doing the front double biceps. It is that thick, it is big. You see it between the triceps and the biceps, in front double bi. That is a bitch. We need to take care of it, right? If it is messed up, it will deter in a major way your muscular development in your arms. Now, Phil Heath is ex-basketball player. Imagine the nerves development and optimization and flexibility that he had in his arms. That speaks volumes. It goes up to the tips of your fingers, right? And basketball players have them more developed than an average person. There was a study done lately. A person who is 50-year-old started working out. They noticed nerve development, new nerve development in his arms. So they can grow. It's not something that is static, that does not move. No, they're flexible. They need stretching. Google ulnar nerve stretch. I repeat, ulnar nerve stretch. But it can be a bitch too if you damage it, because as you guys can see, it goes through your elbows, right through your joints. If it gets basically trapped there, if it got bruises, if it got damage, you have big issues. Let's continue though. You can see here they had to do a rerouting of the ulnar nerve because it was entrapped at the elbow level, right? And this here can be messy. It can develop some calcic or calcification issues. It will grow in a non-aesthetic way, very damaging way. This guy here is an ex-Mr. Olympia, 1982 Mr. Olympia. You guys know his name? Chris Dickerson, for the unaware. Look at his elbows, specifically the left one. You see this ball right here? This is not normal. It is not a muscle. That's what we call calcification, right? The bone has grown in an abnormal way, right? It is bone versus bone. And it entrapped actually the ulnar nerve. What ensued is a weird muscular development. This arm is not beautiful, with all due respect. Look at the triceps. It is like just like a testicle, and the biceps literally melted, right? This is not normal, and it get him big issues after that because he continued to look at this elbow. It looks like pointy, like an arrow, and the whole arm melted. The whole arm melted. Palumboism ensued. You gotta comprehend here, right? And look at him here. Look at the elbow, definitely messed up, abnormal, and the arm started to melt. Look at the arm, not impressive by IFBB standards. You gotta comprehend again, right? The ulnar nerve, not only development, health, stretching is utterly important for your muscular development in your arms. Now you can call Phil Heath the gift, but he also worked for it, rather directly or indirectly. His past being a basketball player has to do with it. And this video is experience, right? And that's what's up. When I come to Greene, he needs to bring something grand to try to tackle Phil Heath. You need to knock out the king if you want to be the king. And with all due respect, if he does not work his forearms and triceps in a significantly more grand way, he has no chance because he's going against a dude who has pretty much some crazy development in that area. This was expertise, baby, please. If you guys know what's up, you better salute and like this video because you never heard about it elsewhere. This is observation, bro.